which leads us right into our review of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, which is our entertainment thingamabobajigger for this month.
Movie or TV show for this month.
Yes. So, yeah.
I can translate Spencer retardee as well.
Yes. So it is a 2022 Polish-Japanese cyberpunk web anime series based on the video game. The series was animated by Studio Trigger under the supervision of CD Projekt, and it came out on Netflix last month in September. It's obviously in the same universe as the game and the tabletop game that the video game is inspired by. Weird stuff. We follow a boyo named David. He's a 17-year-old dweeb nerd boy, and then he gets wrapped up in some shenanigans. He gets lots of cybernetic parts and becomes an edge runner. Whoa! I just described the whole plot.
He drops out of high school and becomes a punk.
Whoa! So this was kind of surprisingly good. I don't know why I'm so surprised by it, because this falls into the type of video game adjacent media that tends to be good. It's the expanding the universe on top of the pre-existing canon stuff.
It's not really held back by anything in the game. It just does its own thing.
It's just set in the same universe. There's no real connections other than the same companies being referenced, and apparently the game now has like a side quest that's relevant to the anime, but like that's it.
There's a lot of visual effects that are in the game. Like all the phone call conversations, the
I do like those are nice.
At least at the very end, when they're driving to a different location, they have the map and the pinpoint, and the road, highlight. The whole map works the same way the game does, as far as colors and visuals.
Makes sense. I have yet to play the game in any capacity other than watching people online because it's a fucking meme of a game. But I'll get to it.
So eventually. There's a lot of visual and audio cues that carry over from the game.
That makes sense.
That was my point.
That's good. But yeah, it's in that spot of like, we just kind of want to build on some of the concepts that the game has rather than be a adaptation of the original medium or a reinterpretation of like the base concept. So that's cool. That means it's probably not See, I was about to say that type of stuff tends to not be very new person friendly. You get your, not exactly the same, but like The Witcher had an anime movie, and I think has an anime series coming. That was pretty good. It's not exactly the same thing because it's only shifting over from the television canon, but right. It's a similar type of like, this isn't really newbie friendly, but it is good, But this is pretty newbie friendly because I haven't played the game. I have no idea what the fuck's going on, but like I know how Cyberpunk works, typically speaking. It's a subgenre I have a strong affinity for. So like, and I don't hate anime all the time. So this was, I could follow everything going on because they explained everything just enough where I understand the concepts, and I can use my imagination on the rest.
It's cool and kind of builds off of what you were just saying. It happens in the same location as the game, but it happens on its own. It's just another gang of cyberpunks doing their own thing, and it's entirely possible that it happens at the same time that you're playing the game, but you can just completely miss it. It's a big city, and you could be doing your own thing, and these guys do their own thing, and not even pass each other. Like, it just feels like it's the same world but a different story.
Yeah. So that's all cool and good stuff.
Yes.
I kind of have to get my negatives out of the way now so I can get into the positives. I think the structure of this thing is not great. It has really weird short time jumps, and about halfway through the series it skips like a full year ahead, and it's riding on a lot more emotional investment than I think the show did the work for. This is also me not being a very strong lover of anime, so I resist the tropes. I don't fall into believing what the anime wants me to believe.
Oh yeah.
It just I push back on a little bit more, and it's like I think it could have done a little bit more of the legwork in terms of like the romance angle and the just the general emotional stuff. The last episode, which I just watched this morning, has the final anime montage of the character dying, and then they're seeing how their life went, and it's played over dramatic music, and I get that that's kind of a meme, especially in American media. That's a joke, and anime still does that pretty frequently, and I have no issues with that. But I felt nothing. Because
who can say
exactly.
where the wind blows?
Right, and it's I don't feel anything for this character. I don't dislike David, but I've watched less than 5 hours of anime. It's 10 episodes long, and each episode is about 20 to 25 minutes, including credits, which is fine. I like how short it is, but trying to pull my emotions that much over such a short period of time I didn't buy in,
Yeah, no, I feel the same. I had to watch this show over many, many breaks because I'm really not much of an anime fan.
That's fair.
So I
watched it in
two episodes and then just be like, okay, time to move on. I'm getting bored. It's kind of feeling the samey.
I watched it in 2 binge sessions of roughly half, and then I only had I had the last episode this morning.
Right.
So It functions, by all means. It's just
8 episodes? 10?
10. It functions, and it feels like if it wanted to be a bit more of an introductory piece of media, then it might have wanted to straighten out that structure a little bit better. But
it's interesting because a lot of their jargon doesn't get explained, but you can kind of figure out what it means and where it's going.
The slang, chooms is
exactly.
It's essay, basically. It's just stuff like that, the filler words they use they're stuff I'm not familiar with, but it's you can piece it together, and I like that it doesn't feel the need to overly explain that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's just good writing. There's a lot of characters for being such a short project. I have mixed feelings on all of them, but I don't know. I don't dislike any of them, which is something. Usually there's a character in an anime that'll drive me absolutely ballistic, and none of them did that for me.
You and Colin were thirsty for one character that drove me crazy. I could not stand it.
This character would be Rebecca, the short stack.
I thought it was Lucy.
No, Lucy's the boring, the boring one that he falls in love with for no reason.
All right, yeah, Rebecca.
No, Rebecca's the short stack with the loudmouth. Little goblin girl.
Even the loudmouth part doesn't bother me, but her voice is very screechy, and she was the only character that did the anime thing of just all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody talks like that.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. It tickled a funny spot in my brain.
Huge anime thing of just
At least it was basically just the one character doing that.
Yes.
The rest, that is the thing I think that kept me not engrossed, but following along without being on my phone the whole time, which is a low bar. But actually just watching it was the fact that it took itself vaguely seriously. There wasn't the thing, my biggest thing with anime that I dislike is the tonal dissonance between the subject matter and then the way that they usually do humor, or
and now a kaiju runs in.
Right. Or, the way that they stop everything, it's like a freeze frame, and then they spit out 50 jokes in a row. That's a pretty common thing, especially in the YA anime stuff. And it's I get why people like that, but that's my biggest gripe with it. And this doesn't do that much. It has slow motion, and they certainly have a couple of jokes here and there, but it feels a lot more it feels like American writing, which is weird. But the way that they write the humor feels a lot more character based than it does. And now we have the short one do a fart joke.
Yes.
The action was all pretty good. There's lots of fights and lots of guns, and I dug most of it.
A lot of violence.
That is definitely the thing that this thing nails is oh wow, look, it's so bright and colorful. Oh, we just ripped his head off.
Yep.
Which is nice.
That guy just got a hook through the face.
It definitely kept me sitting on the edge a little bit, anyways. It yeah, they killed Rebecca 5 minutes before the end of the show, which is fucking dumb. I mean, way to go out like a champ.
They pretty much killed everybody.
They killed off a lot of people. The first half was pretty straightforward, and then the second half was oh, they're killing everybody, aren't they?
That's why it was really no surprise to me that there's not going to be a season 2.
There aren't that
unless they did a completely different cast of people.
Right.
There's nothing else they can do.
Yeah. Yeah, action is good. The style was there. I probably won't watch it again.
No.
Maybe I'll the memes are funny. My man David literally said, "I'm built different." There's no way they were not aware that was a meme. There is no way. I mean, the Cyberpunk 2077 was mostly marketed by Keanu Reeves and the fact that everybody loves him. The CD Projekt Red is aware of memes. They're very definitely plugged in on the meme stuff.
Oh yeah.
So, just saying, there's some cool meme moments in this which are funny, but like, meh. I enjoyed it. This is one of the best things we've talked about in terms of video game adjacent media, but
I'm disappointed that this is what they had to do to get
a massive boost in player base.
Sequel approved.
That is really weird.
Because I guarantee a lot of the people that went and played the game after watching the show went, oh, this is what the game is like, and quickly dropped off. I haven't checked the numbers, but yeah, it got a huge player boost, and then I can't imagine those players stuck around for very long.
Yeah,
the game is not similar enough to the show. Like, I do love the concept of the game, but it falls apart as an open world.
Oh yeah,
quickly. So, I don't know. I do want it to work, but it just doesn't right now.
Yeah. So this is out of all of the TV show movie things we've talked about, I think this is probably the best one. I wasn't in pain for pretty much any of it. I'll give it that. And I enjoyed it. For a short binge of anime that I liked, I'd say I liked it. I'll forget it in like a few months. Yeah, I would put this a little bit below Cuphead.
Interesting.
Cuphead had me less hooked. This thing actually got me, reacting to what was going on screen, being like, ooh, ah. Yeah, but like, Cuphead, I could just throw on, It was less, maybe just because it was kind of less involved emotionally. It was like, it's just dumb slapstick stuff, and it's like, I'll watch a couple episodes, go to bed.
That's interesting, because at the time, I would have said I enjoyed Cuphead more than you did, but...
I think you did, but like, I don't know.
I think this is probably the best thing that we have watched this year.
I think this and then the 2 seasons of Cuphead, seasons in massive quotations, the 2 batches of episodes, I think they're in the same range of like adjacent to the game, animated, definitely made by devs, just fun. Nothing really to complain about. Nothing huge, but nothing like that exciting either. So, I mean, yeah, we're starting to see a pattern in what the fuck happens with these damn adaptations, but we're going to keep going forever because they're never going to stop making them.
I have one last thing to say about Cyberweave, if you are all set.
I dig the jacket. Continue.
Most of our listeners know that I am a metalhead. I love big, loud, scary music.
It did have...
No, I say the thing! This is my point. I liked the music in this show. It was poppy. It wasn't aggressively anime. It honestly reminded me... It had the same vibes as, like, what's always playing in Jetpack. I don't know what station they listen to, but it's always like that kind of grungy punk, pop, rock stuff.
That makes sense, because that's a lot more up Cyberpunk's alley, judging by what the game looks like in terms of musical style, more so than like so if this was a Blade Runner anime and it was like similarly styled, it would be like Doom or Wave, like it's they're despite the fact that they're in the same subgenre of Cyberpunk, they're very different tones.
Yes.
So like I agree. It was definitely in line with the show. Some of the theme was pretty catchy. It's nothing insane, but it was solid.